Hi everyone, and welcome to our webinar on better productivity with Zoho Writer. I am Chinmay, the marketing executive for Zoho Docs here at Zoho, and I thank you guys for joining us today. We have packed this webinar with as much information as we can, and we really hope you'd enjoy it. We also have a guest with us today, Miles. He is the customer success manager for Zoho Docs. Hi Miles, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Chinmay.
Okay, great. So let me just quickly pull up the agenda for the day. This is going to be a 45-minute session, and Miles will first take you through a quick overview of Zoho Writer, which will be followed by a brief product demonstration in which you'll explore all the exciting features of Zoho Writer. At the end of the demo, we also have a Q&A session for you guys where me and Miles will take all your questions. So if you have any questions for us, just click raise hand button in the go to webinar control panel and we'll unmute the audio for you so you can speak up. I'll also be available in the chat all the time during the webinar. So if you have any questions during the webinar, what you can do is you can just post them in the chat and I'll be happy to answer them for you. So that's it for the agenda. Let me hand this over to Miles and we can get this thing going. Over to you, Miles.
Thanks, Jimmy. All right, let's go ahead and dive right into better collaboration with Zoho Writer. And before we begin, I would like to give you guys an overview of what Zoho Writer is and what it does. Zoho Writer is the default word processor for Zoho Docs, which is a document management system and a business collaboration system. When Zoho Writer was launched, it was just a basic text editor. But on the course of time, it evolved from being a basic text editor to a powerful word processor, an online word processor, and now it stands as not only as a word processor, but also as a collaborative and productivity tool. And it can do some pretty amazing things, like it allows you to collaborate internally within your teams in your organization and also externally outside your organization with your clients and customers and etc. And it got tools built for reviewing the content, tracking changes, and many more. And you can also do things like mass mailing using the mail merge functionality and sending your documents for digital signatures using the EchoSign functionality. And there are pretty exciting features hiding under Zoho Writer. And these are the features we're going to be essentially talking about in today's webinar. The features which you can put in your business to boost your productivity and give your team a better collaborative platform. And during the demonstration, you don't have to worry about taking any notes of the features and the navigations, because after this webinar, I will be sending you guys an email in which I will put the link for the recorded version of this webinar so you can check it later, and it will also have the Q&A transcripts and etc. So just sit back, relax, and enjoy the demo. All the important details will follow you in an email. So with no further ado, let's get started. The very first topic we're going to discuss today is team collaboration with Zoho Writer. First of all, I would like to point out that Zoho Writer is a cloud-based application, which means it will be available everywhere. You could be on the road, in a coffee shop, or a hotel room, doesn't matter, you will always have your documents with you. And that's the huge benefit of using Zoho Writer over the traditional desktop application. Plus, Zoho Writer gives you the ability to share your document with multiple users. Now, this will transform your document into a collaborative workspace in which users can work on the same content, have discussions, share ideas, and etc. all at the same time. So first, let's see how you can bring people into your document. So here I have a document which is private. And in order to bring people into my document, I have to first share it. To enable sharing, I should hit the Share tab at the top and click the Share button. And this will bring up the Share Settings window, and this is kind of like the gateway through which you can bring people into your document, because here's where we add users to the document, set user permissions, and etc. To add users to the document, you can simply enter the names or the email IDs of the users. And you have to keep in mind that these users have to have a Zoho account. They have to be registered with Zoho. And there are other ways to share files with non-Zoho users in Zoho Writer, which we will talk about later in this webinar. But as far as this collaborator share is concerned, only Zoho users. So after adding the users, you should set the user permissions. Now the user permission will determine the level of access these users are going to have in this document, so you may want to pay some attention to this. Let me quickly go through all the user permissions here. The read-only permission will allow the users to only view the document, but they will not be able to make any changes to the content of the document. The read and write is the most commonly used setting because it allows the users to both view and edit the content of the document. The read and comment is tricky. What this does is it allows users to view the content of the document and add comments to the document, but the users will not be able to make any changes to the actual content of the document. So this will come in handy when you want your users' feedback or suggestions and don't want them to make any changes to the actual content. And the co-owner permission will make these users as the co-owners of the document, meaning they'll be able to do pretty much whatever the owner can do, like adding new users to the document, changing user permissions for the existing users, removing users from the document, and etc. So depending upon the people with whom you're sharing with, you can set the right user permission. And after setting the right user permission, you can go ahead and click Share. Now, this will send email notifications to the mentioned users, which will have information about the sharing. The notification email will have the information about who shared the document and the link to access the document and etc. Now, if you would like to add a custom message to the notification email, you can click the Add Message link here. This will allow you to add a customized message additional to the default information. So you can include information that will help your users to get an idea of what this sharing is about, and etc. Now, if you do not want your users to be notified at all, for instance, let's say the user is sitting right next to you and you don't want to send him an email notification, you can simply uncheck this Notify through email option, and this will make the document available to the other user, but he will not be notified about the sharing in an email. So let me go ahead and click Share, and bam, now my document is shared with 3 other users. Now these 3 users can open up the document anytime from anywhere, and they will always get to the latest version of the document and they can make changes to it. Now, let me ask these 3 users to get on the document so we can show you how easily we can collaborate together in this document. So as you can see, as they get on the document, I can see them in my end of the document. This is because we're all working on the same document, which is stored in a centralized location. So any changes we make to this document will be visible to everyone present in the document. And this is what we call real-time collaboration. And notice that their cursors have their names attached, so it'll be easy for everyone to know who's who. So what we have here now is a team ready to collaborate and work on a centralized content. Now let's go ahead and unleash the power of team collaboration and see what we can do here. Now you can see that my team has started working on the content, and at any time, if I want to have a discussion related to the work we're doing, I can simply use the chat box to start a conversation. So you see, you can not only work together, you can also have discussions and share ideas from within the same document. And just take a look at what we have done here. A content that was simply plain and rough a few minutes ago is now a ready-to-go business agreement form. So just imagine the amount of productivity you're going to get by having your entire team working together at the same time on the same content. So the hours of time spent working the traditional way will become minutes when you give your team a powerful collaborative platform. Now, of course, there's going to be some challenges in having a number of people jam-packed inside a document. You should have some sort of control on the document, otherwise it will be chaos. And one of the features which gives that sort of control is the check-in checkout. So what we have here is sort of a temporary lock system which will give the user the ability to gain exclusive control over a shared document. There are times when you want to work on the document exclusively and don't want other users' interruptions. So let's say I want to work on this document exclusively and I don't want other users to interrupt. So what I can do here is I can check out this document. And by checking out this document, I'm temporarily locking the document for editing and gaining exclusive access. So after I have checked out the document, I can proceed working on the content and no other user will be able to edit or make changes to it. Even if they're already on the document and if they're making changes to the document, the access will be restricted and only I will be able to edit the document. So let me pull up one of the collaborators' account here and show you how the document will look from their view. So as you can see here, the user is able to see the document, but he cannot make any changes to the content. So once I'm done working on the document and when I'm ready to allow access to other users, I can simply click check in, which will take off the lock on the document and all the users will be back on the document. So using this function, you can take exclusive control of a document anytime you want, especially when multiple users are working on the same document. And this will be a very helpful feature in a collaborative environment. And the next feature we're going to see is also going to be helpful in a collaborative environment, but in a different way. Let's say you have a document that needs to be proofread by a bunch of people. If it's a paper document, you can simply give each user a copy of the document and have them proofread it. And they would normally use a pen or a pencil to cross out words, mark misspellings, or add or write down their comments, and etc. But what we have here is a digital document where our pens and pencils cannot be used. So here's where the track changes feature of Zoho Writer comes in handy. Using this feature, you can let multiple users proofread a document, and you can add their changes to the document after reviewing it. Let me show you how this works. So here I have a document that needs to be proofread, and to turn on the track changes, I should go to the Review tab at the top and turn on Track Changes. And once this mode is turned on, all the changes that are going to be made in this document will be tracked. And this includes all types of changes, including adding new text, deleting text, and etc. Take a look at this. When this user adds some text to the content, his new text will appear in a different color and it will be underlined. So I'd be able to differentiate his new changes from the original content. And if a user deletes some text from the original content, the original content will not disappear. Instead, the text will be crossed out. And each user will be assigned with a specific color so we would know who made what changes. And these track changes will be added to the original content of the document only after you approve it. And once you approve a change, the color markup will disappear and the text will be added in the normal format. I'll demonstrate the review process in a second, but let me now show you another quick feature that'll come in handy during this type of scenario. The proofreaders can add their inputs also as comments. For instance, let's say a user has to explain the reason for a particular change he has made. He can do that by adding a comment. And to add a comment, the user should select the part of the content he wants to comment on, do a right click, select Add Comment, and add his comment. And the added comment will be visible to all the users present on the document. And other users can also reply to the comment and have discussions within the comment section. And these discussions will be content specific since the comments are always attached to the content to which it was added. So now let me show you how the owner of the document can approve or reject the new tracked changes and add it to the final version of the document. We call it the review process, and to turn on the review process, the user should go to the same review tab at the top and turn on review mode. Once this review mode is turned on, Zoho Writer will collect all the new tracked changes and will queue it up in a list for your approval. And this list will be available in the left pane of the document. And the owner can proceed accepting the changes he needs and rejecting the changes he doesn't need. Accepted changes will be added to the final content and rejected changes will be discarded. And after the approval process is over, the final content will be formatted normally with no markups. So what we have done here basically is using the track changes feature, we made our document available for other users, collected their inputs, and have safely applied the inputs to the original content after reviewing it. So basically, you have the traditional proofreading process in a better and faster streamlined platform. And this can be used not just for proofreading, you can fit this in n number of business scenarios. Now, whatever we have seen so far, the sharing, the real-time collaboration, tracking changes, and etc. are all internal collaboration. They're all done within the organization. But there are situations where you want to collaborate with external users from outside your organization. It could be some sort of a contract you're working with a contractor, or a deal your customer is signing with you, or whatever. For this type of external sharing, you can use the link sharing method in Zoho Writer. Here's how it works. Every Zoho Writer document will have a unique permalink which can be used for accessing the file. And this link can be used even by external users, but it still is a controlled and secured method of sharing because the link sharing works based on the visibility setting applied for the particular file by the owner of the file. In order to view the current visibility setting of a document, the user should go to the Share tab and bring up the Share settings and click on Visibility. By default, the link sharing is not activated for the document, and the visibility is set on collaborators only, which will allow only the users added by the owners to access the file, which is what we did a few minutes ago. But the owner can change the visibility setting according to the sharing he wants to do. Now, let's say you want to share a document with an entire organization. Let's say it has the attendance detail of the employees. You can simply do that by setting the visibility of the document to everyone in the organization, and then post the link for the document in an internal forum or some place where from where the employees can pick up the document. And you can further control the level of access the employees are going to have by choosing the permission setting under this visibility. Now, if you have a document that needs to be shared externally with one of your clients or customers, then you can put the visibility on public on the web or public on the web with password protection. And this setting will allow anyone who has the share link of this document to access it. You see, the best part about this sharing method is that it allows you to enable an authentication by setting up a password for the access. So only the users who has the link plus the password you have set up for the document will be able to access it. So even though it's an external sharing, you can still make it secure. And again, you can choose the level of access the external user should have by picking a user permission. And you can also set an expiration date for the share access, after which the visibility setting will go back to collaborators only from the public setting. And this will be really useful if you're sharing time-sensitive documents with external users. And once you've set the visibility, the link that should be used to access the document will be shown. And you can simply copy it and email it to the external users, along with the password and the expiration information if you have set any. So the external user, using the link and the password, will be able to gain access to the document and he can make the changes to the document, and that is if you have given him read and write permission. Now, these sharing methods can be used for sharing your documents externally with, let's say, from 1 to 10 external users. But there is another feature in Zoho Writer which will allow you to make your document available for a wider audience, or even the entire web. It's the publishing option, and it is available under the Share tab. So basically, using this feature, you can do two different kinds of publishing. One within your organization, and two with the entire web. Let's say you have some sort of a timetable or a shift schedule that needs to be viewed by all of your organization's employees. Then what you can do is you can publish this document within your organization and embed the document or post the document in your local site. But if it is a document that needs to be made public, let's say it has your company's terms and conditions that needs to be shown to your customers, then you can publish the document with the external world and post or embed the document in your company's website. So here's how you can get the publishing details of the document. Simply choose the type of publishing you want to do and click Finish. And Zoho Writer will give you the public link which you can use to post the document, and also the HTML snippet which you can use to embed the document in a website or a blog. And when these settings are put to use in your organization, it can really transform the way your content was being shared externally outside your organization. Now, there are additional functionalities which can be used for more streamlined external collaboration. For example, if you have some sort of a contract that you want your customer to sign, what you usually do is snail mail the paper document to the customer's location, have him sign it, and return the signed document. But you can do this electronically in Zoho Writer within minutes. The feature used for this purpose is the DigiSign functionality, and it works in collaboration with the Adobe's EchoSign function. So you will be needing an Adobe EchoSign account to use this in Writer. But don't worry, you can get a free EchoSign account from adobe.echosign.com. Now, let me show you how this works. To send your document for a digital signing, first ready the document and specify where you want the customer or the client to sign. Go to the Share tab at the top and click DigiSign. First, enter your EchoSign username and password, enter your customer's email address, write a subject line, and click Send. And that's all. Now your document has been sent to your customer, and using the Adobe's digital signing function, your customer will be able to sign the document digitally using the mouse or even their fingers if they're on a touchscreen. And once they sign it, the signed document will be automatically emailed back to you. And these signatures are legally abide, so you can very well use this for business purposes. So basically, you can get your contracts signed within minutes, regardless of where your clients are located. This is something I would definitely recommend, especially for small and medium-sized businesses, to speed up and transform the way they've been handling external collaborations like contracts and agreements and such. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to show you guys is how you can mass email using Zoho Writer. So here's what happened last Christmas. I wanted to send out seasonal greetings to my customers with whom I specifically deal with. Now, I have about hundreds of them, and I didn't want to send a generalized email to everybody, and instead I wanted to be more personalized. I wanted to have, I wanted to address them by their name and etc. And I did this within minutes using the Zoho Writer's mail merge function. So basically, using the Zoho Writer's mail merge function, you can take one letter, you can compose one email, and send it to multiple recipients with personalized fields like their name, address, and etc. at one shot. To do this, you're going to need two things. One, a CSV file or a spreadsheet which has your client details like their name, email addresses, and etc. And two, the letter which you're going to send out. So once you've created the letter in Zoho Writer, the next step is to attach the contact details to Zoho Writer. And you can do that by going to Tools, Import Data Source, and by picking up the file which has the client data. So the next step is to insert the client data from the attached file into the actual letter's content. And you can do that by going to Insert Merge field and by selecting the Merge field. In this example, I'm going to pick the name. So when you pick the field, only the name of the field will be inserted and not the actual client data. And this is okay because when you ask Zoho Writer to send out the email, it is going to pull the personalized information from the file you attached and add it to the content of the letter. And if you would like to see a preview of how the email will look like or how the personalized content will look like, you can go to Finish and Merge and select Preview Merged Document. So as you can see here, the inserted fields have populated the personalized data, in my case, the names of my customers. And after double checking the inserted fields, you can send out the email by going to Finish and Merge and by selecting Email Merged Documents. You should select the email address field, write a subject line, click Send, and boom. All of your clients will now receive a personalized email from you. So features like these in Zoho Writer, when taken advantage of, can actually help businesses save a lot of time, collaborate better, and boost productivity. Now let's see how you can go mobile using the Zoho Writer's mobile app. Ask yourself this: how many times have you been away from your computer and wished you could do your work from the smartphone or the tablet you're holding in your hands? Using Zoho Writer's mobile app, you will be able to do this. Let's take our iPad app for example. Using this iPad app, you can create new documents from the scratch or pull your existing documents from the cloud and edit them in your iPad. You can share documents with your team, access your shared documents, and can do many more. And you can even create documents or edit documents while you're offline by taking the documents offline. Now let me pull up my iPad here and show you how this works. To use the Zoho Writer app, of course you have to first install it in your iPad, and you can download the app from the App Store. And after the installation, just tap on the icon to launch the application. So here I have the application open. Now first let me quickly run you guys through the anatomy of the app. So first we have the home screen, and in the home screen we have the document listing where all of our documents will be listed, and by default there will be one document, and we have the option to create new documents. And we have a search bar at the top which can be used for searching documents stored in this app. And if you swipe to the right, it will take you to the templates section where the documents you have saved as templates in Zoho Writer will be listed. And do one more swipe and you will be taken to the trash bin where you will find the trash files. Now in order to create new documents, you gotta get back to the home screen. And to create a new document, just tap the new document icon here and the new document will be created. And this document is created in your iPad and not on the cloud, so it doesn't matter if you're connected to the internet or not, you still will be able to create the document and save it on your iPad. So basically, you can be on a plane or any place with your tablet and you'll still be able to create new documents. And with the document created in your iPad, you'll be able to do everything you would do on the web version of Zoho Writer. You can apply heading styles, change font types, the size of the font, change the color, and can even insert photos from your albums, from your iPad's albums. So you have the power to create actual professional looking documents from right within your tablet. So to save the document and close it, just tap the Done icon and you'll be back to the file listing. Now you can also pull up your documents from your Zoho Docs account from the cloud and edit them in your iPad using the Zoho Writer app. To do that, just tap the cloud option at the top, sign into your Zoho Docs account, and Zoho Writer will pull up all your folders from your account and list it for you. And you can just browse through the files and just tap on any file to open it. And if that particular file is shared with another user, then Zoho Writer will lock the file for you so other users will not be able to edit the document while you're working on it in your iPad. So you can proceed working on the document, and all the changes you make will be saved to the document and updated to your Zoho Docs account in the cloud. And you can also email your documents as an attachment in different formats by tapping the mail icon at the top and by selecting the file type. You can also print your document from your iPad by tapping the print icon here. And to exit the document, just tap on back. Now this is just a basic overview of the Zoho Writer app, but if you would like to really make the best out of it, I would recommend you to go to the App Store and download it for free today. And we have apps built for Android devices as well, and you can download them from the Google Store. And all of our apps are absolutely free of cost, so you can do it anytime you want. And this also sums up the demonstration for the day. So I hope the session was really informative. You can ask your questions during the Q&A session, and I'll be happy to answer them for you. And I thank you all very much for your time. Back to you, Chimmy.
Thanks, Miles, for the demo. We can start the Q&A session now. So if you guys have any questions for us, click the raise hand button in the GoToWebinar control panel in your computer, and then we'll unmute the audio for you and you can speak. Miles will take all your questions now. Okay, so it looks like we have no more questions. If you have any further questions for us, please write to support@zohodocs.com. You can also follow us in Facebook and Twitter. We also have some really exciting webinars lined up in the future, for which we'll keep you posted. And I really hope you guys enjoy the webinar. Have a good day.